good afternoon and welcome to Fillmore Chapel. My name is Teresa Burton, and it is my great pleasure to welcome everyone here and everyone watching online to my first chapel service. Welcome and thank you very much. To those live streaming, I would like to say good afternoon. To the folks at Unity San Francisco and all of my friends in California and elsewhere, hello, thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you've done to support me in every way. And a particular thanks to Reverend Ken Daigle, the senior minister at Unity San Francisco, and mostly to my husband Richard, who is my rock, my support, and my great love. Thank you very much. If you all keep clapping, we'll never get out of here. And now I would like to invite everyone into just a few moments of prayer as we get started. I invite you to really fully arrive in this place, in this moment, and let the events of the day and the obligations of the future just fall away from your mind for a moment. We are here together to share the truth, to know the truth, and to feel the love and share the love that we are, and really be the love that we are, know that we are the love. It is in this time of community, I invite you to join with me and just be so grateful. Grateful to be here in Fillmore Chapel, grateful to be here at Unity Village. We are truly blessed just by this energy of unity that draws us from all corners of the country, and for some even internationally, and it's a marvelous thing. And I am grateful. I invite you to be grateful as well. Amen. Thank you all so much. Now I would like to invite Don Ray forward to read a daily word message about prayer.
The selected word for the day is prayer. And the affirmation is, my prayers lead to right action. Much has been written about the power of prayer, and many of us realize that prayer is our key to the abundance of the universe. Prayer holds every answer and is available 24 hours a day. And prayer is an action starter. As I go to God for guidance, I am led in active ways that enrich my life and bless me continually. I am given the courage and the energy for the perfect action. Divine order and divine timing take over in my life and affairs. Prayer unlocks the door of my consciousness, shows me God's bountiful blessings, and leads me to them. Prayer makes me aware of my unique part in the exciting adventures of life. Prayer strengthens and blesses me mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Prayer leads me to right action. And from James 1:22, but be doers of the word and not hearers only. And once again, our affirmation, my prayers lead to right action. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris Foster. Thank you very much. How beautiful. I discovered Unity 16 years ago. And in those 16 years, I had attended a lot of services. I had read what felt like a lot of books. I don't know if it was all the books, but it was certainly a lot of books. And I took classes at churches, And I thought I really got what unity was, but I got my most powerful lesson in prayer and how prayer is answered one morning, courtesy of the San Francisco Unemployment Office and the San Francisco Municipal Transit Agency. In 2012, I was unemployed, and I was collecting unemployment benefits that were about to run out. I got a letter, a tersely worded letter from the unemployment office that said I needed to present myself in person at their office in order to qualify for an extension. I was less concerned about having to appear at the office to see if I qualified for an extension than I was about the hour at which I had to appear, which was at 8:30 in the morning. Now, hey, I know all you hardy Midwestern types, early to bed, early to rise. I am such a night owl. Even living here, I'm still on California time. And I am much more likely to greet the new day at midnight than I am at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. So the idea that and also said, not only was it important to be on time, it was also important to be early. And I thought, oh, you people. But I needed the extension. And I was going to take the Muni rail system, which had a stop about a block from my house. San Francisco, if you don't know, is a very small city, and it is usually very easy to get around via public transportation. Usually. I had it all planned out. I have an app on my phone that I can, check where the train is going to come to my stop, and I know exactly how long it's going to take me to get from my house to the stop. 7 minutes if I walk leisurely, and I can do it in 4 if I can bolt out of my door and run the entire way. I have it down to a science how I can do it. And in the mornings, the trains run fairly regularly, ideally. They run fairly regularly, and you only have to wait about 8 minutes if you miss one for the next one to come along. And I was counting on that. Silly girl, I was counting on that. And this is before the days of Uber and other ride-sharing services. That really wasn't an option. So I'm ready to leave my house. I check the app on my phone. The next train is coming in 2 minutes. And I thought, well, that's fine. I'm not going to make that one, so I don't have to try to rush. But the next one is not scheduled to come for 23 minutes. Well, that's not good. I don't have 23 minutes to wait, and I have no other option but to get this train, take it to the stop that I need to, and then walk an additional 10. I panicked. I thought, what can I do? What do I do? And I thought, well, there's another station about a mile up the road, but it's going to take me 20 minutes to get there. And at that station, a lot of lines converge, come together, and they run much more frequently. So as I made my way to the stop, hoping that I had read incorrectly or another train was going to come along quickly, I decided, unity person that I am, I'm going to pray. I'm going to say an affirmation, and I'm going to calm myself down. And this is what I said to myself. I affirm that a creative solution is available to me now. I affirm that a creative solution is available to me now. I'm going to invite you to say that with me, please. I affirm that a creative solution is available to me now. Thank you. I should have had you all there at the time. I make my way to the station. I check my phone again. 17 minutes to go. I panic. I'm standing there, and this is on the west side of the city, very close to the ocean, and the train, well, there it is right there. The train is going to be coming. That's an eastbound train. You can see the ocean in the background, and that is my neighborhood. And these trains are not like bullet trains or really fast trains. It's almost like a city bus on tracks, and the way they snake through the city. So I'm looking at my phone, and I keep refreshing. I look westward toward the ocean, I don't see it. I look eastward wistfully in the direction that I need to go. I don't know what I'm going to do, and I keep affirming, looking, checking, affirming. I affirm that a creative solution is available to me now. Time has now slowed to a glacial pace. Every minute feels like an eternity. But I still keep looking for the train, refreshing the phone, even looking up. I'll confess I looked up. Probably more than once. I did. I looked up. But I'm looking this way, and I'm looking that way, and I'm looking this way. I'm looking every way that I can look except for directly in front of me. Because if I had looked directly in front of me, this is what I would have seen. So close to me, I almost could have reached out and touched it. And I looked at that, and I looked west, and I looked east, I checked the phone again, and I looked up. And then it hit me. Oh, this is my creative solution. I can get in this cab, and I can take it a mile down the road to where the trains are moving much more quickly. Perfect. This is my answered prayer. And as soon, the moment that I made that realization, the light changed, and the cab drove away. And I was standing there saying, oh, no, come back. You are the answer to my prayer. And off it went. So I learned that morning, I learned how prayer is answered. Perhaps not quickly enough, but I learned something very valuable. In the book, The Universe is Calling, by Unity author and minister Eric Butterworth, he talks a lot, well, actually the whole book is about prayer, how Unity prays, and how prayers are answered. And in this book, he writes about something that he calls the cosmic counterpart. And that is essentially that there is the divine in you that knows that a creative solution or some kind of remedy is available. Maybe the human in you doesn't know it, but the divine in you knows it. And he goes on to write, in an orderly universe, the need and its answer are always one. We live and move and have our being in infinite mind, a veritable mind field. In the transcendence of mind, the answer to any need is present and follows as does 4 from 2 plus 2. So guidance, the clear direction in whatever you may be doing, is always present. And the important decisions are not to be made, but to be discovered. Seeking guidance is not waiting for some answer or help from the outside. It is waiting for an intuitive flash and then moving your feet. And as I was preparing this talk, I thought I need an illustration of some kind. I need a way to illustrate this point. And what came to me, I feel, is proof that God or divine mind or whatever you want to call it truly does have a sense of humor. Because what came to me to talk about is football. And that's funny because of all of the people gathered in this room, probably not one of you knows less about football than I do. But Christine Boylan and I don't know a lot about football. But this is what came to me. I do know a couple of things, and one of the things I know is that in a scoring situation, you have a quarterback who gets the ball and then has to throw it where it needs to be caught by a receiver. When we think about prayer, it might be helpful to think of yourself and your cosmic counterpart as the quarterback and the receiver. When you pray, and ideally when you go into the silence and really spend a lot of meditative time in prayer, you are like that quarterback. You are calling your play. You are kind of masterminding the whole thing. You are tapping into an intelligence that is greater than your waking intelligence. So you have that ball. You make that realization in prayer. You realize and maybe affirm a divine idea. Health, peace, prosperity, the solution to a problem, whatever it may be. But then when you come out of meditation, when you return to activity, when you return to your waking life, then it's time for your human self, the receiver that you are, to catch that ball from wherever it's coming from on the field, to catch it. Now, like I said, I don't know much about football, but I do know this, that when the receiver catches the ball, in the ideal situation, he doesn't just saunter into the end zone in a leisurely fashion. No, when he catches the ball, he has to run with it. He has to run with it. And that's what we do. That's what we need to do. When the answer to our prayer shows up, and especially when it shows up in a way that we don't expect. And that leads me to part 2 of the story. So I'm standing there and I'm watching the cab pull away, saying, no, come back, come back. And I look down and I notice that in my hand is a phone. I am holding, for all of my classmates who like to think that I'm really so bright and everything, I swear to you, this is true. I can be a little obtuse when it comes to the big issues. I am holding a phone. It's not just a high-tech train schedule, which is how I had been treating it up until that time. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. I can see the number on this cab. I can call them. So I do. I get the dispatcher, and I say, hi. I'm on a corner in the Outer Sunset, which is my neighborhood. I'm on a corner, and your driver just pulled away, and he's heading east on Taraval Street. I didn't see anyone in his back seat. If he's not on his way to pick somebody up, can he come back for me? I was put on hold. I was patient. He came back, and he said, yes, ma'am, he can come back. I just need your address. And I said, well, I'm standing on a street corner. Well, no, I need an actual address. I said, well, there is no actual address. I am literally I'm standing outside. I am at the corner. We negotiated this for a couple of minutes, and I was able just to go a block up the street and meet this driver who was nearby at a 7-Eleven getting coffee. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. I met him. I got in. I was able to catch a train, and I made it to this appointment with time to spare. And I got the extension that I needed. But that was not my greatest victory of the day. My greatest victory is that this experience really drove home to me in a way that few things ever had about what we do and don't do when it comes to realizing how prayer is answered. And one of the biggest mistakes, getting back to our football player, one of the biggest mistakes, I think, when the receiver catches the ball and he runs and does not saunter into the end zone, it's not like he's doing this without any kind of opposition. There are people charging at him or chasing after him, trying to knock him down. And I thought about it and I realized that can be our experience in realizing prayer, only there are not large people trying to knock us off our feet. But maybe there are, kind of metaphorically. There are lots of things that can stop our prayerful realization, our own doubt, our fear, our skepticism. And for me, my conviction that even though I prayed for a creative solution, I waited for a train that I knew was not coming. And it literally closed my eyes to the answer that was in front of me. And I don't think I'm alone. I don't think I'm alone. Okay. Eric Butterworth, in his book, The Universe is Calling, goes on to write, perhaps you are meeting a problem, a relationship conflict, a financial crisis, or a computer glitch. In your cosmic counterpart, there is an answer. What you need is to be still and know this, to have faith in infinite process. Answers will be revealed, right answers, answers that may have never come into your mind before, if you can believe. Thus, the object of prayer is to expand your awareness of infinite mind, which is present where you are. I will repeat that. Thus, the object of prayer is to expand your awareness of infinite mind, which is present where you are. Sounds easy, doesn't it? It sounds easy. And in thinking about this, I was reminded from this line from the Bible, from Matthew. With God, all things are possible. And I think that's, of all the things in the Bible, I think that's one of the easier ones to believe and understand. With God, all things are possible. But I wondered if we look beyond, if we look behind, if we peek behind the curtain of what that is saying, it's saying all things are possible. But it's also saying everything is possible. Anything is possible. And that which we pray for might show up in a different way than what we expect. And I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with having expectations and preferences. It's natural. It's what we do. This is our divine power of imagination at work, to give form and shape to ideas, to begin to visualize, to have a picture of what we want something to be when it finally does show up in manifest form. The danger, as I found out, is that we can over-identify with what it is that we think is going to show up to the point that we exclude everything else, as I had done. And I got this image in my mind that it was like if you take the realization of a divine idea, the realization of prosperity, or the realization of transportation, or the realization of health, or a new job, or something, and you hold too specific a notion about how that has to be, if you're too strident about what that's going to look like when it finally shows up for you, it's like you're taking this big, vast, infinite, amorphous kind of truth and folding it in, gathering it in, squeezing it, compressing it, making it small, smaller, until it's so small you can take a little box and you can stuff it in that box, pound it in, stuff it in, grind it in, and then put the lid on that box, lock that box, and put a little label on it. I need that job. I need that mate. I need that car. I need that solution. In my case, in this scenario, the label on that little box would have said train. But I didn't pray for a train. I prayed for a creative solution, and that's what I got. That's what I got. So what I did from that day forward, and what I invite all of you to do going forward, is to take the lid off of that box, to collapse its walls, and to allow this truth, whatever it is, whatever you have been seeking, whatever you want to have come into your life, allow it to expand, allow it to unfold, allow it to breathe, and get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's everywhere, until spirit has room to move. And then be open. Expect the unexpected. Be the receiver who is scanning the entire field for where that pass is going to be coming from. And that's what I did. That's what I try to do. And I'm not going to say I never fall into old patterns. I never have expectations about specific things that I want. But I try to, you've heard the phrase sleep with one eye open. I try to pray with one eye open now and just be aware of everything that's going on. So in conclusion, I would like to leave you with 3 points. The first is pray. Pray early, pray often. There is no worldly situation that is greater than what God is. Absolutely. Number 2, move your feet. Get ready to catch that ball, and when you see that the answer to your prayer has arrived in your life, don't get hung up on, well, I didn't pray for that. I didn't pray for a cab. I prayed for a train. Where's that train? Whatever it is, however it shows up, you will know in your heart, oh, that's for me. That's for me. And step out in confidence and in boldness and know that taxi is waiting for you, and run after it if you have to. Finally, try to lose your expectation around what an answered prayer needs to look like. Because when you do, your entire world opens up. It gets big. Because, as a coda to the train story, I had thought for years there was no point in calling a cab or trying to catch one because there are no cabs in my neighborhood. I live in the residential part of San Francisco. There aren't any cabs out here. Until I saw one. Until I got in it. Does anyone have a guess as to what happened after that day? All over my neighborhood. All over my neighborhood, every day, like ants at a picnic. They're all over the place, and they had been all over my neighborhood the entire time. I just didn't have the eyes to see them. When you expect the unexpected, your eyes will be open all the time. Let's take this into a time of meditation.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts, I let my spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free as I continue walking in this mystery.
I invite you all to breathe as you are most comfortable. And just allow your awareness to sink within. As you connect, or you are connected, as you realize your connection with all that is, with all the knowledge, with infinite presence that is around you, flowing through you, and deep within you as the true nature of your being. And as you feel this awareness glow and strengthen within you, ask yourself, what in my life have I closed my eyes to? What in my life have I closed my mind to? What in my life have I closed my heart to? And if it feels right for you to do so, just allow your breath to begin to soften any defenses around words like, that can't happen. I can't do that. And feel those defenses begin to melt away. I am. I am opening. I am opening my mind. I am opening my heart to wondrous, inexhaustible supply. Wonderful, inexhaustible substance from which all supply comes. I relax and know that my good is available to me all the time. I relax knowing I am divinely cared for. I relax and know I have nothing to worry about or fear. I am. Let's take this into a few moments of silent contemplation. As you begin to bring your awareness back into this room, know that nothing will be impossible to you. know that that which you affirm in prayer is making its way into your experience. Perhaps in a way that you expect, and perhaps not. Know and be grateful that prayer is always answered. That the truth is everywhere present. And for this and in all things, we are thankful and say amen. Foster, thank you so much. I invite Jen to come up with the offering blessing, or with the offering for me to do the blessing. It's been a long day, folks. So we are so grateful for these gifts and these givers that support those of us who are training to become ministers, to carry on Unity's proud tradition, to share unity with each other and with the world. And it is through Unity's many hands, many voices, and many talents that the world is truly blessed. And we are so grateful for this generous support. Thank you very much. And now for our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you.